Hey Steph, it's Thursday. There's some stuff in this world that you really only have to use as much as you need. Stuff like water or hairspray. You can't really use too much. You use as much as you need and then that's all you have to use. There's a lot of companies out there that are literally just out there to make money, and they're going to try a lot of different ways to get you to use more of their product than you actually need to use. So I've got 10 of those I've rounded up, and I'm going to talk to you about all 10. Example number one is laundry detergent. So you're using way too much liquid of all kinds to wash your clothes. The number one problem that laundry repairmen have when they make house calls is that people have been using too much detergent and it wears and tears your machine down way faster than it should. So the problem with detergent is that it causes a lot of suds when you use too much. That's going to be a common theme in this episode. Basically, if you're using a household cleaning product and you see suds, it means you're technically using too much. You want to minimize sudsing from your detergents. Next up is shampoo / conditioner / body wash / soap, stuff you're using in the shower. The situation is exactly the same as laundry detergent. If you're like me and your shampoo or conditioner comes with pump, you probably don't need a full pump unless you're washing a big shaggy dog. So companies want you to use a lot of their product because it means you're going to have to buy more of it sooner. And so they're going to write things like rinse, repeat on their bottles to encourage you to wash your hair as many times as you can because it uses more detergent faster or more shampoo or conditioner or whatever. Here's an interesting fact I learned in chemistry. If you're actually trying to get as much oil out of your hair as possible, which is the main thing that shampoo does aside from very obvious mud or dirt, is take about half the shampoo you'd normally use on your hair, wash it normally, then you do the same thing again with the second half of the shampoo, wash your hair normally. That will get out more oil than just washing your hair with that same one amount of shampoo. So dishwasher detergent is the exact same thing. If you have the powder or the liquid detergent, you're probably putting more in than your dishwasher actually needs. And basically the maximum fill line is for if you have the dirtiest dishes ever, which nobody ever does. Most people rinse their dishes before putting them in the dishwasher. So you're probably using too much. The best thing you can possibly do is get some of these pods. They have pre-measured amounts of detergent and it ensures you're not putting way too much in. You'll notice that this pod is way less than the amount of detergent you'd put in. Now onto some foodstuffs. So first example of something you're probably using too much of is butter, everyone's favorite condiment. So I know we grew up with mom and dad putting butter on everything. Not everything, but like stuff like sandwiches. And yes, it really does make things taste good. I can't deny that. But there's a lot of fat in it, and most of the foods that we make these days have enough fat in them anyways that they will taste good no matter what. You should probably think a bit more than we do about going butter-free. There are things like putting things like olive oil or canola oil, whatever, is a lot healthier and will generally taste just as good. So along the same lines as butter is salt, another ingredient that people use way too much of. Basically, unless you're making food yourself, if you're preparing food from scratch from ingredients, you don't really have to put salt on any food. What food companies do is in processing food, it removes a lot of the flavor that food naturally has. And what they do to compensate for that is they add things like MSG and salt. So when you get any food that's been processed, it's got salt in it already. You don't have to add salt. It's unhealthy for you to have too much salt. If you really insist on using salt and you still want to be healthy, there's always the option of preparing your food fresh. That means it's definitely going to be good for you. It's not going to have lost a lot of flavor, and you're going to need less salt. That's going to enhance the flavor of your food more than salt ever could. Okay, moving on to things that come in very small packages. Medication. So it's going to say take 1 to 2 capsules for an adult every 4, 6, or 8 hours, whatever. You don't need more than 1 pill at a time. You absolutely don't. It's a waste of medication. Things like Tylenol, if you take more than 1, extra strength Tylenol especially, is actually dangerous. The FDA is taking steps to ensure that packaging changes because having more than 1 Tylenol at a time is actually dangerous. Most medication is just a waste of medication. They want you to use it up twice as fast, so they'll tell you to take 2. And the placebo effect means you probably will feel better with 2, but it's not the medication doing it. Vitamins are another really good example of something that people take too much of, especially if you're taking more than one. I think this is vitamin B6, for instance. There are conditions, medical conditions, that require some people to take vitamin supplements. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I just want to get that clear straight off. I'm talking about people who take vitamin supplements because it's cool, because it's hipster, because they see it in the grocery store. Natural health products are a multi-billion-dollar industry in North America, and no effects from any of them have been proven. Like Sheldon says in The Big Bang Theory, they are ingredients for very expensive urine. So as I was saying, this natural health market is completely unregulated. They don't have to prove anything that these medications work, these vitamins work. They do anything that they claim. There's a multi-billion-dollar industry being propped up on that idea that you don't have to test these vitamins. Up next, everyone's favorite beverage, bottled water. If you're drinking bottled water, you are literally just drinking tap water that was put into a plastic bottle either a few weeks or a few months ago, and then it's sold to you at 10 times to 1,000 times the price. Little known fact, chemicals that are in this plastic will actually leach from the bottle into the water over time. In effect, you're actually healthier pouring your sealed water bottle out and then refilling it with tap water before drinking it. It's better for your health. So next up is toothpaste. This one's pretty simple. You probably just don't need as much toothpaste as you use. Sticking with a pea-sized amount like you used when you were a kid, like it says on the toothpaste tube, is probably fine. I would suggest using half the amount of toothpaste that you would normally use next time you brush your teeth, and see if they feel different afterwards. If they feel still dirty, by all means, don't go half, go like a quarter less or something. But if they feel just as clean, they are just as clean. Switching to an electric toothbrush is probably going to have a bigger impact on your oral health than using even an ounce of toothpaste. So the last thing we are using too much of is sort of a fun one, batteries. Rechargeable batteries are everywhere, and they're really, really cheap these days. So do yourself a favor and stop buying non-rechargeable batteries at IKEA like I did a year ago. It's way cheaper and it's less detrimental to the environment if you just recharge rechargeable batteries at home. It's much cheaper and easier than going out and buying fresh ones every time you run out. And yeah, battery technology is just going to keep getting better to make this a better and better option over time. Okay, well that's it for today. I'm glad that I got that out of the way because I have a ton of other videos that I've been wanting to make, but I know I promised this one last week. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you're able to save some money and save some frustration with some of these products. I love you, and I'll see you on Monday.